Imagine being 17 years old, dressed in heavy silk, believing you're being escorted to a wedding ceremony, and instead being led into a locked chamber inside the imperial palace. The doors close behind you, not for privacy, for control. The women in the room are not guests, they are attendants, instructors, witnesses. A court physician stands nearby, silent, waiting to record what happens next. You were told this was tradition. What no one mentioned was that every movement, every reaction would be remembered and judged. The months of enforced silence suddenly make sense. So does your mother's expression that morning, the way her hands lingered while fixing your hair, the way she avoided your eyes. This isn't fiction. For more than 600 years, the Ottoman Empire maintained a system so carefully constructed, so psychologically brutal that even its fiercest enemies would not have wished it upon their own children. A system spoken of only in whispers and later erased entirely. The year was 1623, and a 17-year-old princess was about to discover that imperial marriage had two faces. The public one, celebrations, music, blessings, gold, and the private one, performed behind sealed doors, documented in silence, and remembered only by those it broke. What happened that night was not a private tragedy. It was the hidden cost of power, a cost every daughter of a sultan was expected to pay. When this story reaches the moment that unsettles you most, pause and tell me where you're watching from, because no one should witness this alone. Now, return with me to the empire itself. For over 6 centuries, from 1299 to 1922, the Ottoman Empire stretched like a shoreless ocean across 3 continents. Its armies thundered from the walls of Vienna to the deserts of Yemen. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the city was transformed into Istanbul, the beating heart of imperial power, and Topkapi Palace. Within those gilded walls, the fate of nations was decided, but in the shadows, the fate of souls was sealed. Hidden behind lattice windows and endless corridors, the Imperial Harem formed a parallel world, a sealed universe where more than 800 women lived at the height of its splendor. Every breath was observed, every gesture measured. Advancement and destruction often differed by a single misstep. Within those gilded walls, the fate of nations was decided, but in the shadows, the fate of souls was sealed. Hidden behind lattice windows and endless corridors, the Imperial Harem formed a parallel world, a sealed universe where more than 800 women lived at the height of its splendor. Every breath was observed, every gesture measured. Advancement and destruction often differed by a single misstep. By 1530, when the title of Kösem Sultan was bestowed upon Hürrem, the harem became more than a domestic space. It was a battlefield of alliances, ambition, and silent wars waged without swords. Concubines, most of them Christian captives taken from Europe or purchased in North African markets, entered the palace stripped of their past but clinging to hope. Their days were filled with music, poetry, embroidery, and ritual obedience, all in service of a single fragile possibility, catching the Sultan's attention. Ironically, many of these enslaved women possessed more paths to influence and even freedom than the daughters born at the very summit of power, because royal blood came with its own prison. During the period historians now call the Sultanate of Women, figures like Kösem Sultan and Turhan Sultan exercised astonishing influence, guiding councils, steering wars, and ruling from behind veils of protocol. Their authority reshaped the empire itself. But while these women wielded power, the princesses of the dynasty lived under a different fate entirely. They were not rulers, they were guarantees. Human clauses in diplomatic agreements, living seals on alliances, pawns placed to secure loyalty, suppress rebellion, or reward obedience among powerful men. And it was into this system that Princess Fatma Sultan was born in 1606. She was the daughter of Sultan Ahmed I and Kösem, a woman capable of ruling an empire from the shadows. Fatma grew up surrounded by gardens, scholars, and manuscripts in Arabic and Persian.
Chroniclers praised her intelligence. Tutors marveled at her discipline. She studied astronomy, calligraphy, history, and law. By all accounts, she was exceptional. She spoke 4 languages fluently. She debated learned men with confidence.
She gazed at the night sky with a curiosity that terrified her tutors, because curiosity was dangerous for a princess. And none of it mattered, because from the moment she was born, her life was never her own. Her destiny had already been written.